Today we're going to draw something that everybody has. You need them to eat a cheeseburger and to tell your friends about the weird thing your cat just did. Yeah, it's your lips. I'm going to walk you through all the anatomy you need to know to draw lips. No matter what style you want to draw in, you have to know how to draw lips from any angle. I'll also show you how to draw lips on a full portrait so you can see how they relate to the rest of the head. Stick around to the end to see it all come together. Let's get started. Straight on view is up first. We're going to start with the body of the lip, kind of either the bottom of the philtrum or the top of the tubercle, and then this would be like the bottom of the tubercle. And then the ends of the lips kind of get pulled tight a little bit, more or less depending on the person. Kind of find a nice angle for the bottom of the body of the lip. You know, kind of pull that out the same direction, and then we get the node, right? And everything kind of gets pulled out into this node section where all of our muscles from our face kind of meet at the ends of the lips in order to help them move. You know, and so from there we can kind of go in and just refine the shapes a little bit, kind of smooth things out, make them look a little bit more lip-like. There's usually a little tiny shadow right there that you just saw at the bottom of the node, you know, so you usually get a pretty soft shape with like a harder edge down at the bottom. You can see it right here as well. That's because there's usually like a little tiny cast shadow in the node right there. You know, and then we'll come in and just kind of refine things, right? Find a better tubercle shape, you know, and then find a better philtrum shape right here. Kind of angle them the other way a little bit. But again, this varies a lot from person to person. You know, it's one thing to just kind of learn the parts. What's tough is once you've done that is then to learn to bend and change the parts depending on the types of lips and the type of person you're trying to draw. You know, so then we've got our bottom lip here. And here I'm just kind of breaking things down and finding a line for the nose and then using that to help create the philtrum, right? And the philtrum is this kind of area. It's almost like a depression kind of up above the lip and between the nose. And there's a little indentation there that kind of looks about like that, you know, and then kind of duplicating that space down to here. That shows us where the bottom lip connects to the chin, and then duplicating it again to find the size of the chin. And that little connection point where the lip actually connects to the chin, right, which is like kind of right about here, right there. That's called the mentolabial sulcus, and it's a big measuring point that we use on the head. So it's good to know. And from here you can see there's kind of like some different protrusions, kind of. There's usually like 2 on the bottom lip and 1 or even 3 maybe on the top, depending on the person. And yeah, from here we're just kind of going in and just making some quick little refinements and changes. And that brings us to the skull. And as you can see from here, this is all about the tooth cylinder, right? So the tooth cylinder, as you can see, is very round. You know, and so the lips are being pulled around that round shape, and then you can see it also protrudes outward, and it's round kind of in both directions. You know, so you can see here for the 3/4 view, I'm changing my center line to account for the tooth cylinder pushing the lips outward, you know, and then kind of creating that same body of the lip type shape, pulled out to the node, and now we've kind of modified it to fit that 3/4 view. And notice some key overlaps here, right? Now from this angle, the tubercle is overlapping the bottom lip a little bit, and the bottom lip is overlapping the far side of the body of the lip over there on the left. It's very important to get those overlaps correct. All the other parts are more or less the same. You can see here we're kind of modifying the center line to create more of a topographical center line, just so you can see how things are sitting in 3-dimensional space. And then from there we're going to move into the side view. And again, be really careful with that tooth cylinder shape and make sure that we've accounted for it. And then go in and start designing the lips around it, right? And remember, the tubercle sits just below that line that we draw for the lips. When we break that space into thirds, that tubercle is going to drop just below that line. And then from here, we just kind of design a nice lip shape, which takes some practice and a little bit of study. And but once you've done it a few times, it's not too bad. From the side, you mostly just have to make sure you don't make the lips too long, you know, like in terms of like going back too far. You know, figure out how the bottom lip attaches, and then we get that little mentolabial sulcus section again, and then down to the chin. I'm just inventing these. I mean, these aren't like super accurate by any means. But it goes to show how well you have to know this stuff, right? Because you should know these shapes well enough that you have them memorized and can draw them from memory. So here we're starting with the 3/4 head construction. So you can kind of see how these shapes relate to the rest of the head, right? So we're taking that bottom third of the face and breaking it into thirds and taking my time measuring, make sure those thirds work properly, adding the shape of the tooth cylinder to make sure that the center point of the lips will align with the rest of the head properly. And then notice now that center point of the lips are shifted forward to the center line a little bit. And then we'll go in, find our philtrum shape, find the body of the lip again, and how that kind of gets pulled out towards the node. Nice soft edge for the node. And then this side, we got to make sure all our overlaps are working properly and we're getting just the right shapes to show 3/4 lips wrapping around the tooth cylinder. Right? And then we'll go in, add our tubercle, find the bottom of the body of the lip, pulled out towards the node, little hard edge underneath the bottom of the node, and then make sure these overlaps, again, are working just right. Tubercle overlapping the bottom lip overlapping the far side of the body of the lip. Include the other node, and then from there, it's about just kind of adding everything else, right? We get our chin in that bottom third, the little depression underneath the bottom of the lip usually has a nice little shadow pattern in it, depending on the lighting. And yeah, from there, we're just going to kind of keep refining things little by little, add a little bit of that philtrum shape, right? So the philtrum is the part that kind of goes up above the lip between the nose and the top of the lip there. And then from there, we can just keep going, kind of, figure out how the lips relate to the side plane of the head and the cheek, and see if we can just kind of get it all locked in. If you would like to learn more about lips or facial features in general, you can take our full facial feature class at foundationartschool.com/subscribe. And that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I will see you next time.